The world had not always been water. At least, that was what the old stories claimed. Few believed them anymore, because there was no proof, only endless oceans stretching in every direction. Cities floated on colossal rafts, built from layers of rusting metal and algae-grown platforms, tethered together by chains thicker than ships. Humanity had adapted, or so it seemed. They harvested plankton, bred schools of engineered fish, and built machines to filter salt from the sea. But beneath the surface, in the blackness of the depths, there were ruins, structures too symmetrical to be coral, too ancient to be explained. And some said they were the remains of the old world, a world that had drowned. Maris never cared about legends. She was a diver, one of the rare few brave or foolish enough to plunge beneath the floating cities into the abyss. With her oxygen suit and dim wrist lantern, she salvaged what she could from the drowned ruins, shards of glass, cracked statues, twisted steel beams. But one day, she discovered something she could not explain. At the edge of a submerged skyscraper, she found a sealed metal door, perfectly preserved despite the centuries underwater. Strange markings were etched across it, symbols she had never seen before, glowing faintly in the dark. She touched it, and the door opened with a hiss of air, real air, not water. Behind it, a tunnel stretched downward. She returned the next day, bringing her closest friend, Darren. He thought it was a trap, some pressure pocket that would collapse and drown them. But curiosity outweighed fear, and together they swam inside. The tunnel led to an air chamber, a cavern lined with glowing crystals and machines still humming after centuries. At the center stood a sphere of glass filled with swirling blue light. Darren swore it was a reactor, a forgotten machine from before the flood. But Maris noticed something stranger: murals on the walls, depicting people walking on dry ground, oceans receding, towers scraping the sky. And then, at the very end, an image of the sphere itself, exploding with waves. The realization hit them both at once. This machine had not survived the flood, it had caused it. The flood was no natural disaster, but a deliberate act. Someone had drowned the world. They returned again and again, studying the machine, arguing about what to do. If they activated it, would it reverse the flood, draining the oceans and revealing the ancient lands beneath? Or would it destroy what little remained of humanity, collapsing the fragile floating cities into the abyss? Maris wanted to try. Darren wanted to leave it untouched. Their arguments grew sharper, edged with fear. Finally, one night, Maris snuck out alone, determined to uncover the truth. She placed her hands on the sphere, feeling its warmth pulse through her veins. The lights flickered, and suddenly visions flooded her mind, not memories of her own, but of those who built the machine. She saw scientists panicked as sea levels rose, nations warring over land, desperate leaders activating the sphere as a last resort to preserve life. But it wasn't preservation, it was control. The ocean had become a prison for humanity, a cage disguised as survival, and someone had designed it that way. Maris staggered back, horrified. The flood wasn't an accident, it was engineered, a reset to strip power from the people and rebuild civilization in chains. But worse, the visions revealed something else. The machine wasn't dormant, it was waiting. Every dive, every touch, every curious mind brought it closer to awakening again. When Darren found her, she tried to explain, but he was already reaching for the controls. He believed the machine could save them, could bring back the land and the sky. She begged him to stop, but he pulled the lever. The cavern shook, the water around them churned, currents dragging them in all directions. For a heartbeat, Maris thought the seas were receding, draining into the earth. But then she saw the truth in the glowing sphere. The machine wasn't designed to stop once, it was designed to repeat. The flood wasn't a single event, it was a cycle. Every few centuries, when humanity grew too bold, the machine drowned the world again. The ocean roared, the chamber cracked, and Maris's final thought was not of survival but of betrayal. Humanity had never escaped the flood because it was never meant to. The world was not their home, it was their prison, endlessly resetting, drowning them again and again. And somewhere, beyond the horizon, whoever built the machine was still watching,